Hello everyone. Today we are going to explain about factoring trinomials. My name is Derek.
And I'm Alex.
Yep. So now Alex will take us through the basics of factoring trinomials.
Okay, so I'll be talking about factoring trinomials when a equals 1, also known as skill 25. So what is a trinomial? A trinomial is an expression with 3 different variables or terms, and it usually comes in this form: x squared plus bx plus c. See 3 different types of terms. And let me just give you an example, and then I'll tell you the best way to factorize it. So let's just use x squared plus 5x 6. And factorize basically means finding factors to make this equation simpler or easier to multiply. So one way you could do it is by, well, since you know a equals 1, you know this becomes a quadratic expression, or an expression with 4 terms with an x at the beginning of every bracket. And here you can just substitute a and b for the unknown numbers, and then just expand. So x times x is x squared, x times b is bx, for the sake of alphabetical order. A times x is ax, and a times b is ab. Alright, so you have this. What? So you take these 2 terms, and you know that added together they'll give you 5. A and b multiplied together will give you 6. And now all that's left to do is find 2 factors that both add and multiply to 6. If you factor it out, in this case it would just be 2 and 3, since 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 2 times 3 equals 6. So you have your both factors, and since they're not negative, it doesn't matter which order you put them in, and all you have to do is substitute a and b for 2 and 3. So in this case, just be x plus 2 times x plus 3. And that is your final answer.
So now I will be taking you through the harder examples of factoring trinomials when a does not equal 1. So as we can see here, we have added a 3 to the x squared, which we didn't have from before, which makes this also more complicated. If we have an equation like this, first we have to find if there is any common factors. So once we find the greatest common factor between 3, 12, and 9, this is GCF. The greatest common factor is 3, since all 3 of them are divisible. And so we can simplify this equation using this method. This is what happens to numbers after getting divided by 3. Now we can factorize it using the easier method. Now we can factorize it by using the 2 brackets that Alex has told us about before, and it will be x plus, since both of them are positive. Now we have to find a number that 2 numbers actually, that add up to 4, and the 2 same numbers have to add up to 3. Now these 2 numbers will be 1 and 3, since 1 times 3 is 3 and 1 plus 3 is 4. Now we can just put those numbers into brackets, and voila, there's your final answer. Now let us move on to the next example. This is when there are no common factors. As you can see, 5, 2, and negative 3 are all already prime numbers. That means they don't have factors except for 1 and the 5, 2, and 3, negative 3. So when we see things like this, we use a method called the magic X. First we draw a big X on the board. Now we have to find something that adds to positive 2, so a plus b must equal 2. So we put the 2 here. Now, what's different about this? Instead of finding a number to multiply to negative 3, we find a number that multiplies together to equal these two numbers multiplied together. So that's 5 and negative 3. So that's our first and last numeral. And 5 multiplied negative 3 would be negative 15. So we're looking for a number that multiplies to negative 15 and adds to 2. Now, so after working out, you will find out that these two numbers are 5 and negative 3. 5 plus negative 3 equals 2, which is the number we have here. And 5 multiplied negative 3 would be negative 15, which is the number we have here. So there's your two numbers. Now comes the more complicated part, because now we have to take again the first numeral there and divide both numbers by the first numeral. And remember to simplify what you can. So now we can put these in brackets. Let me do this over here. There's no choice. So when we need two brackets, but this time there will be numbers in front of the x. So it has to be something and then something else. So for here, the number, first we get the denominator to go into this block. So it's 1x plus the other fraction, the one on top. So that's 1x plus 1 multiplied by, using the same method, 5x minus 3. And there's your answer again. Thanks for listening and have a great day.